Hello, welcome to Roy's Book Reviews. It's been a minute or two since I shot my last video for my BookTube channel, but I am back on track. I'm back, and I'm ready to discuss my thoughts on the novel Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead. If you are not a stranger to this channel, then you know that I have read and reviewed a number of Colson Whitehead's books in the past. He's one of my favorite authors. I even did one video that is exclusively about him and a collection of his books. But I have not spoken about this one yet because I just finished reading it a few days ago. So let me get to it. Reading from a review at Goodreads, where I always start off my reviews. After reading Colson Whitehead's latest novel, Harlem Shuffle, I believe there are only 2 or 3 titles in his backlist that I haven't gotten to. One thing that you know you'll get from Colson's work is excellent, addictive writing. Whether it's a work of literary fiction, a book so full of personal details that it reads like a memoir, an actual memoir, a novel based on true life events, speculative in nature. I always have trouble with that word, speculative. Or an unexpected dip into the genre of zombie lit. Zone 1 happens to be one of Colson Whitehead's novels that I haven't read yet. But no matter which category his book falls into, you know that you're getting quality prose. If you're a stranger to his work, and Harlem Shuffle was the first book of his that you picked up, a glance at the cover copy, where the most notable literary awards that have been given to him are listed, would inform you that you're about to read something by a critic's darling. Harlem Shuffle did not disappoint. It was much more casual in tone than the last 2 Colson Whitehead novels that I read, his back-to-back Pulitzer Prize winners, The Underground Railroad and The Nickel Boys. I suspect that another author will win the Pulitzer for fiction next go-around, but that's by no means a knock on Harlem Shuffle's merits. This novel follows the exploits of a man named Ray Carney throughout the 1960s. Ray is a black man. He lives in Harlem, of course, which is obvious because of the book's title, not because the main character's race. And Ray is the son of a criminal. He steps away from his deceased father's legacy by becoming a legitimate, honest businessman, owning a furniture store. He also spends time in his father's shadow due to a legal side business that comes into his shop from time to time. If someone brings a stolen item to Ray, he has the connections to find a buyer for it. Ray's ambitions mostly lie on the legitimate side of his dual existence. He wants to enlarge the size of his store. He wants to sell upscale merchandise from the whites-only domain, even if many of his customers would need to purchase it on layaway. Ray wants to move to a more upscale neighborhood like Riverside Drive, and perhaps someday down the line to the legendary Strivers Row of Harlem, New York. Ray Carney is a striver personified. Never mind that his wife's parents look down on him because they come from older money, while Ray is just one generation removed from hood life. Ray was able to get started on the straight and narrow after surprisingly finding money gained from his father's illegal activities in the truck that was inherited from his dad. But it doesn't matter how you got started so much as what you do once you get there. Among Ray's goals is entry into an exclusive club for Harlem's black elite called the Dumas Club, named, of course, after Alexandre Dumas. I did a review of his novel The Count of Monte Cristo in another video here for this channel, and I also did a review of a book called The Club Dumas, which has nothing to do with the Dumas Club in Harlem Shuffle. Ray's father-in-law belongs to the club, which perhaps makes up for the fact that his flesh and blood father was a criminal who only would have gotten into the Dumas Club if he was robbing it. Ray's initial application to the club is rejected. Never mind that the bribery money he paid to improve his chances was accepted. Being a striver, there's always another opportunity somewhere down the line, even if you have to get down and dirty to create that opportunity. The only thing that endangers Ray Carney's relentless forward progress is his cousin, Freddie. They were raised like brothers, but since Freddie didn't luck into finding a bundle of cash, like Ray did, Freddie makes no attempts at being an upstanding citizen who honestly earns a hard day's pay. He is always on the lookout for the next score along with his next drug high. And since Freddie knows that his cousin has useful contacts when it comes to moving stolen goods, whenever he shows up, it's usually to get Ray involved in criminal activity. Since Ray feels obligated to help out his cousin, and because he is his father's son as much as he is his own very different sort of man, Ray allows himself to be drawn in, despite the jeopardy that it puts his conventional above-board lifestyle into. Even if inclined to walk away from an illicit opportunity, once dangerous individuals assume that you're involved based on your history, there isn't much difference between actively seeking out trouble and trouble looking for you. Ray Carney is basically a good man who keeps hustling out in the open as well as on the down low, striving to make his grass is always greener dreams come true, moving along with the changing times amid the Harlem Shuffle. I highly recommend this novel. I have no idea what Colson Whitehead's next book will be about, because like Ray Carney, he keeps it moving, always searching for uncharted territory to explore. Some people have favorite writers because those authors consistently deliver a similar brand of literary treat over and over. Perhaps they stick to a particular genre, or if they stray a bit, they repeatedly examine particular tropes and write about the same types of people on a consistent basis. This is neither an attribute or a flaw. It just is. Colson Whitehead is one of my favorite authors for the opposite reason. I never know what he's going to come up with next, but chances are that it won't feel like an echo of his previous books. It will be its own thing. And the common thread between the works of Colson Whitehead, from my least to my most favorite of his books, is the excellence that they share. So, those are my thoughts on Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead, my thoughts on Colson in general. Until next time, I wish you, as always, happy reading.